Is it a good time to buy real estate? Yes! Video over. I'm just kidding. Clearly, the video is longer, so we better say some cool stuff to fill the time. Hi there, my name is Thomas Eaves. I'm the lead agent of the Eaves Realty Group at Keller Williams Realty, and I've been a real estate agent in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for over 10 years. A stat that impresses absolutely no one.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
So, let's talk about, is it a good time to buy a house? So, you'll notice that if you go and look at any of your other real estate agent friends, because a ton of people are in real estate. Like every third or fourth person has a real estate license nowadays, seems like. What you'll notice is that if you go and look at their pages, go look at what they're posting on social media, on YouTube, etc., on the TikTok, for those of you Gen Zers out there, you'll notice that it's always a great time to buy. It's a great time to buy. It's a great time to buy. Hey, it's never been a better time to buy. So the question is, why are they saying this? Is it just because they're horrible ambulance-chasing salespeople, or is there something to it? Well, I got news for you. There's something to it, and it's this graph right here. Okay, this graph shows the median sales price in the United States going all the way back to 1963, which, by the way, the average sales price of a house back in 1963 was $17,800. Yeah. So, turns out I should have been buying real estate back in 1963, but unfortunately my dad had not been born yet. So, thanks a lot, Dad. Anyway, what this line demonstrates, even if you're not a mathematician or a person who reads graphs for a living, whatever that's called, a statistician maybe? What is a graph reader called? What you'll notice is that this line goes up. It gets higher as time goes on. So real estate costs more now than ever, and it costs more and more and more as time goes on. So what gives? Why is that happening? The easy answer might be inflation, and inflation certainly plays a role. That's not really the best answer. The best answer is something called the Law of Scarcity. Okay, so the land that we have here on planet Earth, which is currently the only planet that we're occupying that I know of, the land that we have is kind of the land that we have, right? So, like, it was Pangea for a while, and then broke up into, like, 2 supercontinents. And then, like, over time, now we've got 7 continents, which is pretty, I mean, that's more than one. And there's one of the continents that's, like, not super habitable. Like, I don't know any real estate agents down there. And so, you know, the land we have on the remaining 6 is the land that we have. And so, by the way, I think that less than 1% of the face of the planet is developed. So I don't think we're really in any danger of running out of land anytime in the near future. That being said, there is scarcity where people want to live. So, for example, you know, the nearest metro to me is Dallas. So if you go down to Dallas, okay, if I buy up a piece of land in downtown Dallas, there is now objectively less land for people to buy and develop, right? So, therefore, there is scarcity. And as you get further away from those big city centers, you'll notice that there's less scarcity. There's more land available for people to buy and develop and do whatever they want to with it. And that's why the prices are so much lower out there. So prices are really expensive where there's a lot of scarcity, okay? And prices are way less where there is less scarcity or more availability. So that's the reason for this graph going up and up and up over time. As real estate where you want to live becomes more scarce, you have less opportunity to buy it. The value of that asset, being the land, increases, and so the price goes up. And it will continue to go up forever. That's it. So technically, whenever those agents say, hey, it's a good time to buy, what they're not really telling you is that the best time to buy was back in like 1963 when you were busy, you know, not being born or just doing whatever you were doing. The second best time to buy was like, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago. The third best time to buy was yesterday. Today's still a pretty good day. Tomorrow is not as good a day. A year from now is a pretty bad day. And 10 years from now is like really bad. Okay? So hopefully that drives the point home. And yet that's just one dimension of what makes it a good or bad time to purchase. That's just price, right? There's other aspects. So let's talk about the buzzword, the one that everyone wants to talk about, which is the interest rates. Okay, so let's talk about what an interest rate is. What is the interest rate? The interest rate is the cost of borrowing money. If you want to go and borrow $1, okay, what is going to be the cost of borrowing that dollar? That's what an interest rate is, okay? It's you're purchasing debt. So, interest rates are super important as it pertains to what you're qualified to purchase. Whenever you were, 3 years ago, middle of 2021, if you were qualified and the interest rate was, say, 2.5% or 3%, you could buy a whole lot more house than you can now with interest rates in the 6s and 7s. Okay? So now at the time we're recording this, which is the end of 2024. So interest rates are super important as it pertains to your qualification and affordability. Okay. Now, that being said, once you've locked in an interest rate and you've gotten a mortgage for 15, 30 years, what have you, and you're living in your house happily in what you can afford, what you'll start to notice is that interest rates are super variable. Not the rate. Most government-backed securities or government-backed loans, your conventional FHA, VA, USDA, etc., are fixed rate, meaning the rate's not going to change. However, what you'll notice is that you can refinance that loan. You can refinance that loan. You can do something called a cash out refinance, meaning you can actually pull cash out of the earned equity in your house. You can do something called a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. Let's say you want to do some improvements. You want to put in a new addition or something like that. You can pull from the equity that you've earned in your property, and you can make those improvements and just roll it into your loan. So you've got a lot of flexibility in your loans, regardless of what your interest rate is. People get so worried about the interest rates. Look, if you can afford the house, you should buy it. And I'm going to prove that case more and more as we get through, because I'm just an ambulance-chasing salesperson. I don't know what else to say. You definitely have a lot more flexibility with your loan than you do with your lease that comes from your landlord. All right, let's talk about another aspect of the of whether or not it's a good time to purchase, which would be inventory. If you've ever taken a basic economics class, you know that in supply and demand, if there's lots of supply and a little demand, prices go down, right? Whereas if it's the other way around, if there's not a whole lot of supply and there's a ton of demand, then prices go up. So you just want to have an idea of what's happening in your market. So at the time we're filming this, the end of 2024, there's plenty of inventory. You got lots of houses to choose from, and there's very little demand. So prices are going down, okay? Now, just as an asterisk here, Thomas, I thought you said the prices of real estate are never going down. Look, the value of real estate is not going down in the long term, okay? You've got these little blips over time. Go back and look at the graph, okay? So you've got these little blips over time where it's dipped in value because we've had market corrections, just like we're going through right now. But then they go right back up. So, if you were just to draw a line from the very beginning of the graph to the very end of the graph, you'll notice it's in a pretty linear fashion going up over time. And if you're one of those people that thinks that you're like smart enough to time the market, right, and find it at the bottom of these down cycles, good luck. All right, so finally, let's talk about competition, meaning are you having to compete with people whenever you go and purchase a piece of real estate? Are you is it just you, or are you competing against one other party? You're competing against 3, 10, 50 other people, and that's obviously going to impact the price that you have to offer in order to win that what we call multiple offer situation. So all 4 of these things, your average price, your interest rates, the amount of inventory available, and the competition are really, really important factors in determining whether it's a good time for you and your situation is so unique. Was that convincing? I mean, literally, I've been doing this for 10 years, and your situation specifically, I've never heard of before, never seen it. I don't even know how we're going to manage it. You're just so special and unique. Really. I'm not selling it. So the reason a lot of people of my generation have not purchased real estate is because of some pretty cruddy advice from past generations. Okay, so past generations, love you. You purchased your real estate for 3 raspberries and a firm handshake, and that's not the market that we're in today. There also used to be, go watch the movie The Big Short. Pretty much anybody could get a loan if you could sign a document, and that's not the market that we're in today. Whenever you commit a crime, you're innocent until proven guilty. Whenever you want to go and get a loan, you are guilty until proven innocent. So, the world is just different today. So, is it a good time to buy a house? Yeah. It was better yesterday. It was better than that 10 years ago. It was way better than 1963. But yeah, you should buy one today. And it's not just me telling you that. Can you show them the graph again? No. We've overdone the graph. All right. That's it. I'm hungry. Talk to you all next time.